Welcome to today's explainer. You know, when you walk into a beautifully arranged butcher shop, it feels almost magical, right? But behind that warm, inviting showcase lies a really rigorous foundation. We're talking hard science, deep knowledge, and incredibly strict procedures. Today, we're diving into the evolution of the modern retail meat professional. Because let's face it, a modern butcher isn't just someone who cuts and sells meat anymore. They're a trusted culinary guide. They're literally the essential link between the farm and our family dinner tables. So we're going to explore exactly how real craftsmanship, when you pair it with uncompromising standards, creates absolutely unshakable consumer loyalty.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've got four main pillars to cover today. First up, the art and knowledge. Second, transparency and local origin. Third, the science of storage. And finally, the showcase of trust. Let's get to it. Pillar number 1, the art and knowledge and how we guide the customer. Look, product knowledge, that is the absolute bedrock of consumer trust. As a manager or a master butcher, knowing your cuts and their culinary uses inside and out isn't just a nice to have. It's everything. It's how you guide your staff so they can actually advise the customers properly. When you do that, you elevate your shop from a simple transactional point of sale into a true culinary destination. Take beef, for example. You've got to know that the Nua is your perfect classic oven roast, or that the Pontaki, which is super rich in collagen, by the way, is just the ultimate choice for boiled dishes and hearty soups. And the Spala, the shoulder, that's your go-to for slow-cooked stews. Imagine your staff looking a customer right in the eye and saying, hey, for your Sunday stew, you absolutely need this spala, and here's exactly how you should cook it. You're not just selling meat at that point. You're providing a full culinary service, and that is exactly what keeps people coming back. Moving right along to Pillar 2, transparency and local origin. This is where professional integrity really builds that bond of trust.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Because consumers today absolutely want to know the story behind their food, right? Under Greek law N4492, there's a strict traceability life cycle that has to be clear as day on receipts and display labels. It tracks 3 specific milestones. Step 1, the country of birth. Step 2, the country of rearing. And Step 3, the country of slaughter. Now here's where it gets really interesting. If all 3 of these steps happen right in Greece, a business can proudly slap on the label, Greek rearing over 5 months for their beef. Smart businesses aren't just doing this to dodge fines. No way. They are using this local sourcing and transparent labeling as a massive built-in marketing tool. It's a total game changer. Ticking those 3 boxes and displaying that label instantly communicates quality, it champions local producers, and it gives the customer total peace of mind. It completely sets you apart from the competition.
And this brilliantly illustrates the mindset shift we're talking about here. Take a look at this quote from AgriCert regarding their certification system for quality beef. It says, the voluntary system enhances consumer trust for quality beef and safeguards a high level of public health protection. I mean, they hit the nail on the head. Enhances consumer trust. Whether you're dealing with mandatory national laws or voluntary systems like AgriCert, the sharpest retail pros frame this compliance as a deliberate strategy. It's your chance to visibly prove your quality right there on the counter. Pillar 3, the science of storage. So we're leaving the warm customer service behind for a minute and heading into the rigorous, non-negotiable cold of the back room. 7 degrees Celsius. That is the absolute maximum legal temperature for storing fresh meat. Any higher than that, and pathogen multiplication just skyrockets. You're basically risking everything.
Down to 4 degrees Celsius. Poultry needs a much stricter threshold. Because of its unique microbial risks, fresh poultry has to be kept significantly colder than your standard red meat. So, the crucial point is this final number, 3 degrees Celsius. Offal and byproducts, we're talking livers, hearts, that sort of thing, they are incredibly sensitive. They've got to be kept the absolute coldest, strictly under 3 degrees. Knowing and rigorously checking these 3 numbers every single day, that's the silent heartbeat of a safe meat operation.
But hey, temperature is really only half the battle. Physical placement is the other half. The hygiene manual is super strict about how things physically sit in these cold rooms. First off, store everything on pallets. Packages must be kept a minimum of 20 centimeters off the floor. Why? To allow for proper cleaning and to completely stop cross-contamination in its tracks. You've also got to keep things away from the walls so the air can actually circulate. And the absolute golden rule, never ever place anything directly on the ground, even if it's heavily packaged, no exceptions. These spatial rules are absolutely vital. And that brings us to Pillar 4, the showcase of trust. This is what the consumer actually sees and judges.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can look at the official retail hygiene guide. It's so easy to dismiss it as just some boring list of government rules, right? But scratch that, reframe it. This is the master artisan's playbook. All your culinary knowledge, your transparent local sourcing, the hardcore cold storage science, it all culminates right here. This document gives you the exact blueprint for building a physical display counter that literally radiates safety and quality to every single person who walks through the door. The guide lays out the right and wrong ways to manage this display, and it gets super specific. A proper display, it actively uses bacteriostatic peach paper between trays of different meats. That stops cross-contamination dead in its tracks. And here's a really fascinating rule. Minced meat actually has to be ground in the physical presence of the customer. I mean, what better visual proof of freshness is there? On the flip side, an improper display is a disaster waiting to happen. Mixing raw and cooked items together, pre-cutting cheese or cold cuts before the customer even asks, or any setup where a customer could accidentally touch or breathe on the food. Just no. Those mistakes instantly ruin all the meticulous hard work happening in the back room. Keeping this showcase perfect isn't something you can just set and forget. It takes aggressive daily habits. You've got to check that showcase temperature at least once a day. You have to clean and sanitize the glass and the trays constantly. See an item with a little discoloration, or maybe a canned good looks slightly swollen? Boom, remove it instantly. The whole visual appeal of your display is directly tied to how safe the customer thinks your food is. If it doesn't look absolutely pristine, you lose their trust on the spot. So bringing it all together, think about that seamless, perfect handoff of a beautifully wrapped, safely stored, and transparently sourced package to a smiling customer. It begs a really important question. Does your retail space inspire total, unshakable consumer trust? Take a hard look at your own shop, or even the shops you shop at, through this new lens. Are they offering real, expert culinary guidance? Are they proudly and clearly displaying their local origins to stand out? Is the rigid science of their storage actually reflected in a pristine showcase? Because at the end of the day, when all those pieces snap together, it's not just retail anymore. It's a masterclass in trust. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.